and they have a large amount of money, and then that money goes to their children. All of those children that they gave that money directly will be responsible for capital gains tax. And the crazy part about that is that money has already been taxed. But when they get it, they're going to get taxed again. This is how much of a scam the government is running. How they get tax money multiple times by creating the tax laws. But if you pass it on strategically, where they can have control and not show ownership, that can minimize or eliminate tax liability. Most people, a large part of the population, don't understand any of this. So most, especially in our communities, people pass away and, stuff is divvied up through the probate courts. Well, trust prevents that from happening. You won't have to worry about probate court. You won't have to worry about family members arguing over what they get, because the trust document will make it clear who gets what and where it goes. Two main types of trusts is revocable and irrevocable. Used for wealth protection, estate planning, and tax efficiency. Key components: grantor, trustee, beneficiaries, assets, trust agreement. Avoids probate, provides asset protection, and ensures privacy. Revocable trust can be altered, revoked by the grantor, maintains control but provides limited asset protection, avoids probate but does not shield from estate taxes. So revocable trust is like, I set up a living trust, and I still, even though I'm the grantor of that trust, I'm the one who's placing property under that trust, I still co-own it with the trust. So if I have tax issues, my trust has tax issues. So if someone's suing me, the trust is being sued at the same time. Anything that I control in that trust, I'm going to have all those assets are in jeopardy. So most attorneys, when you go to them, will say you need to do a revocable trust. Remember, I told you they took an oath, right, to the bar. And any advice they're giving you is to steer you down the road of what's going to benefit the government the most. Okay? So they're always going to say, don't do a irrevocable, because revocable, you can take it in and out. And I'm going to bust that clearly in this. It all depends on how you express your trust. When I say express, it all depends on how you write the trust, the stipulations you put in there. So again, revocable trust leave you still open. It's not real asset protection. And when you switch a house into a trust and it's revocable and you have a mortgage, the bank always wants it to be revocable and you, the individual, as the beneficiary. Why? Because if they want to come take that house, they want to still have a way in to get you. So I'll talk about that later. And if I don't talk about it, please remind me how you can still put your house in a trust and still have it protected. Irrevocable trust cannot be easily modified, offers strong asset protection and tax benefits, reduces taxable estate, and protects wealth. So when you read the IRS code, it only talks about revocable trust. And here's a key point about the IRS. What they don't talk about is what they don't have jurisdiction over. So they're not going to sit there and explain to you how irrevocable trust keeps them from touching your stuff, keep their little greedy hands off your property. They're not going to tell you that, but they will educate you on how a revocable trust, and you need to do this and do that, because they're showing you how to set yourself up so that they can get their hands on your stuff. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Key features of revocable trust: flexibility. The grantor can modify or revoke the trust at any time. This is the promotional point of when lawyers talk to you. Yeah, you could do whatever you want. You have total control. But the way I show you, you still have total control. no matter what trust you try to do or do, irrevocable or revocable. So assets remain under the grantor's ownership and control. As I said before, assets pass directly to beneficiaries without court intervention. This is the only benefit that I see from a revocable trust, is that if the assets is in a revocable trust, it avoids probate court. And that's one of those things you want to avoid at all costs. When you got the probate courts involved, you're leaving yourself way wide open, or your family is wide open to anything happening in that, especially if they love when families don't agree, because at that point they get a conservator or someone to control the estate, a third-party attorney who's working with different investment companies, and once he get in there, he's got control over that estate. He can sell property, he could do whatever he wants if he petitions the court and says it's necessary. And most times they drag that stuff out so that they can pilfer the estate for whatever assets or money that's in those bank accounts. And when that exhausts, then they'll close it out. So that's why you don't want your family to end up in any type of probate court, because 9 times out of 10, the family is not going to agree on stuff. Because there's always 1 or 2 people who are totally ignorant about how these things work, and always thinking someone is trying to take something. And we all know the people that worry about people stealing something are the ones that are the thieves. Those are the ones that are usually the ones that speak up. The biggest thief is usually the one accusing everybody else of being a thief. So that's, and I haven't come across a family, even my own, that there's at least one person in that family that you can't trust. So when you come to trust, you protecting yourself from that. And while this is in my mind, let me state this. Some of you might have family who are aging right now, right? And they don't have anything set up. And you learning this want to go and help them. Great. That's nice. That's wonderful. But here's the problem you're going to meet. The other family member is going to have to agree to do all of this, and that's where you're going to have the whole problem. So my point of saying that is, it's just like being on a plane. They say put your life vest on first before you start saving people. Start protecting your immediate family first. You deal with your circle, your husband, your wives, your children, those first. Then save yourself aggravation. Then you can go out to the other family that didn't protect themselves. And I know we have concerns, and I'm dealing with some of that now, where family is trying to help out, but the other family don't understand this stuff or even want to understand, and then there's the conflict. So avoids probate, assets passed directly to beneficiaries without court intervention, limited. When you have problems, and they could be extreme, that is a great opportunity for you to really practice transcending that situation and work out not allowing it to bring you down consciously. That's the mission. That's the mission, to be able to navigate all of the challenges of this world that it may bring you, and still be able to walk over it like Christ walked on water. Still be able to allow yourself to be sacrificed for the good of mankind. I'm not saying go allow people to nail you to a stake or anything like that. What I'm saying is, spiritually, even though these people, you might feel from a fleshly level that they deserve condemnation, you cannot condemn. Because once you don't allow yourself to pass judgment on them for their wrongdoing, and you look at it as simply as, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. And honestly, so people are so indoctrinated into the opposer mindset, into the devil mindset, that what they do, although it may be wrong to some and most people, they really don't see it as wrong. They really can't see it because their mind is so clouded in that vibration that in that world they feel justified. You just so happen to be a casualty of their ignorance to their true divinity. So many people see success in other people's and they want that success, but they don't want to break old habits. You'll never have success that way. If you're going to stay the same person that don't have success now, you're not going to get success being that same person. You're not going to get the success hanging out with the same people. You're not going to get the same success with the same entertainment habits that you had before. You're going to have to give those things up. You got to give it all up. So now is what are you gonna do? You heard what I had to say? And most of all, let's keep it real. I'm only repeating what you've already said to yourself. That's why you're here. That's why you tune in every week. Yeah, I'm only repeating what you already said to yourself. I'm not saying anything new. I might be saying it in a different way. I might be saying it in a different tone. I might be saying it with some force differently. But for the most part, your spiritual self has been knocking you over the head, telling you, hey, what you doing? Hey, 3 o'clock in the morning, get up, write that thing, that inspirational thought you had. Write it down or go act on it. And what do? You look at that clock, turn over, I'll get it later and go to sleep. Hakeem, how you know? How you know? You in my bedroom? You can see us? You spying on us? No, I ain't got to spy on you. I ain't got to know. I know how we are. I know what we really are, and we all operate the same way. We come from the same designer. We come from the same designer who designed us to be spiritual and powerful and divine. And the way we get our inspiration is when everybody's calmed down and all the negative energy is subsided. That's when, in the wee hours of the night, is when God can really speak to you and get you in that corner and start to talk to you. That's what happens. How you know I can't? Because it happens to me all the time. And a lot of times I listen, and then sometimes I don't. And I always regret when I don't. Peace. What's up? All right. Look like my mic is working. What's up, everybody? It is what? April the 6th. Last weekend I did a seminar in Maryland. It was a success. I mentioned it on Tuesday. Thanks to everyone that showed up. Um, it was a good seminar. And then I did a webinar yesterday, like a condensed version of a 2-day seminar that I did last weekend. Thank you to all of the people that supported that event yesterday. That was about 4 hours of information. I taught about trust again, and I uh, showed the Jubilee letter. Almost forgot to show it, and then someone reminded me, which was good. Um, what's the title of today's show? Leave the World Behind? Yeah. That's a tough thing for most of us, right? It was tough for me leaving the world behind. How do you leave the world behind? You got so many ties and commitments and attachments. How do you do that? That's a big question. Like, how do you do that? Right? Because leaving people, situations behind, well, let me say it like this. We're so attached to people, we're so attached to situations and things. Hold on. Well, it's amazing how people text. I didn't get any text all morning, and all of a sudden I'm being text right while I'm doing this show. Um, what was I saying? Leave the world behind in attachments and why that's tough. Some reasons why it's tough is because we have, some of the people we need to leave behind, we're very close to. It could be family, they could be husbands, wives, children. It could be just about anyone. How do you leave the children behind? I brought these children here. How do you do that? And what do I mean by leave them behind? I guess we need to start there. What do I mean by leaving the world behind and leaving these people behind? Well, we all came individually into this world through our mother's divine womb, her portal, and we all have a specific talent that we chose for ourselves to display in this realm, right? Forgive me. I'm drawing off strength right now because I really was not going to do this show. I was like, man, that's why when you miss one show, and I missed it for good reason. I did a seminar last weekend, so I didn't do a show. And then once you get off one time, it can easily become many times. That's I'm walking down the side road right now. That's why you have to stay consistent, because once you stop, it's like you almost have to let me turn this off. Sorry. You almost have to you almost gotta like really push yourself to get back on that train, that ride again. Consistency, success is consistency, and your failure is consistency too, just in a different way, because you're doing consistent things that bring you to failing results, right? I'll get back to leave your world behind, right? The Santa Ana is taking me down this road. We're consistent in everything that we do. It's just, what are you consistent in, and what results you are getting from that consistent. See, people say, "Oh, I'm inconsistent." No, you might be inconsistent with things that bring you success, but you are consistent in things that bring you failure, bring you poverty, bring you bad relationships, not so ideal outcomes. Consistency is there. Inconsistency is a consistency. Okay, you're consistently inconsistent. Y'all get it? So, it took a lot of work to get into it, and I'm revving up. I'm getting there. I'm still really digging to get my mental back on track. Is, lately I've just been feeling like, forget it. Why am I even doing this? Why am I teaching these people this stuff? I got a lot of stuff to work on for myself. And then I got to remember, am I really teaching you anything? No. I'm only reminding you of what you already know. And I'm also mainly talking to myself. I say this all the time. I'm just talking to myself, and I just choose to use YouTube to talk about it, to get it out. These things that I'm talking about is mainly for myself, mainly to remind me of, back to what I was talking about, leave the world behind. Sometimes solitude is your best friend. Some people feel lonely. Well, people don't stay in my life. I can't, there's nobody there. That's good. How about you make yourself your best friend? How about you be more comfortable with yourself in that solitude? It's okay. You're not lonely. You can find a lot of things to do by yourself. And I know that some of the people listening that have, partners, husband, wives, whatever, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. Wait. I don't need her to hear this or him to hear this, because they might be feeling that way and want to be by themselves. And then now I'm left alone. See? Now, if you're one of those people thinking like that, then you got a problem. Then you don't enjoy your own company. Because even though you're with someone and you love them, whatever, y'all have a great relationship, your the time you spend with them should be great, and the time you spend away from them should be great too. This shouldn't be a situation where, if you're not with them, you feel like you're incomplete and things ain't right. Then something is wrong and broken within you, and you have not healed something. There's a hole, there's a gap in yourself that you haven't filled. Because in order to bring any type of good relationship to someone, you must be whole within yourself. I'm okay with solitude. And I'm also okay with companionship. Because in solitude, I learn a lot of things about myself. I get to really examine things that I've been doing, habits I've been creating that are bringing me the results, and I get to sort them out. Well, do I like this result or don't I? Well, if I don't like this result, what do I need to do differently? Right? And this is what I'm talking about. Leave the world behind. I'm not saying go off and just leave people that you've already made commitments with and just leave them stranded. I'm saying leave the world behind consciously and go within yourself and get to know yourself, get to love yourself, get to care for yourself, take care of yourself, do things for yourself that really bring you joy, whatever that is. Not everything is a group task or a group activity. No. No. And guess what? Going into solitude and going within yourself is a group activity because you go off and prepare yourself to be able to be good in a group. You see? It's always about self-work. When the master, the king, whoever you want to call him, they gave those three slave talents. He gave one talent, one three talent, one five talent, right? Because he knew he gave the one talent because he already knew. Okay, I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt. See what he do with this one. I can't trust him with three like the other guy. I can't trust him with five like the other guy. This guy, let's see what he do. It's like, and they all had to go off by themselves and figure it out. But if they had not done the three and the five, if they had not done the work prior to that, they would have never got the three. They had already been doing work, solo work. Okay, presenting themselves as reliable. The one with one talent, oh, he did something sometime. So he was sometime. Okay, let's give him one. Let's see what he do with that. And he did nothing. And he took that talent away from him and took more from him. So if you're not alone doing the work with your talents, if you're not working on your talents, they're gonna be taken from you. And you're gonna be in a worse off situation than you was before you had the that one talent. So talents is supposed to be used. That spiritual energetic energy that you were given, that talent that you was given to come in here to display and use, it's not supposed to be used making someone else rich. It's supposed to be used making yourself rich, rich in spirit. Now, I'm not when I spoke on that, I'm not speaking about money per se. So you must be rich in spirit. You're supposed to store up treasures in heaven. And then all of the other stuff, the monetary money, wealth, nice homes, whatever you desire, come. And on leaving the world behind, again, also leaving the world involves leaving some of those old habits you had. Some people you all attached to certain things in your life, whatever that is, vices that you have that take you whatever feel good you get out of it, that is really hurting your progress. That's part of leaving the world behind. The old world, the old you, the old habits that you have generated and created that may have served a purpose in the past, but right now they don't serve you. Like I like to do rituals and things like that, right? I like to do certain rituals, and because it reinforces and reminds me of my power. But there's no greater power than my mental power and my spiritual power that's already inside of me that I need to activate. I don't have to get a book and read this and read that. Do y'all understand that all of that power is already encoded? Is a codex inside you already written inside of your DNA? And you could conjure it up, call it up at any time. You don't need to get somebody's book off a shelf with an author's name and copyright. Oh, well, if you do this, this will help you get more money. This will help you bring love into your life. What helps you get more money and more love into your life and these things, this is all part of leaving the world behind, because the large part of the world is doing some type of ritual somewhere, trying to make things happen for themselves and forgetting about the one power that they were born with, the one that's already encoded in them. You have power. You can, if your mind can conceive it and you believe it, you can achieve it. I remember I went when I first got on this mission. Shaman, I really appreciate him and respect him. And he would do all of these things, it's like these. He made these for me, and I got some other stuff. I still wear them. I wear them as a. These are what you call totems, stuff like that remind me of my power. This is not the power. They remind me of my power. So, and I keep them mostly hidden because that's what you're supposed to do. You see people, they wear all their stuff out, and it look, I got this. The Bible even speaks against it. Don't be like the priest who pray in public and twist their face up so that they can get recognition by the public. So that means their spiritual work is false, it's fake, it's empty, it's vain. But what I was saying, and I would get this. Okay, this is gonna help me bring me some money, and I'll place too much importance on the totem or the ritual, and it never really brought me as much money that I was wanting. Until I reversed that, I started to look at that differently. I started to say, well, this is just a reminder of what my power that's already inside of me. And then when I switched it up, then I started to see what I wanted and more. Then I realized, is it really this that's doing it? Or is it me, the God within me, that's producing it? My belief in myself, my belief in my own power. See, that one slave that had the one talent, he didn't believe in himself. He was lazy. Yeah, I ain't gonna work for this. I'm just gonna sit around and I'm not gonna do anything. I'm comfortable with just having enough. That's another world. That's another world mind that you have to leave behind, because most people in this society think like that. As long as I can pay my bills and I got this, I'm comfortable, right? Or you might be attached to someone who is like that. That's not how you want to be. Anybody, let me take this. I'm not gonna be on here too much. So I'm gonna get to the point and get out of here. I didn't leave any comments. Santana's got something to tell you, but I'm just gonna get to it. You have to remember, and this is why leaving the world behind is important, what I'm about to say. Everything and everyone that you're connected to is giving off energy, and you're giving off energy. Now the trick is, what type of energy is this person giving off? People say a lot of things. And I typically hear things. I let people words, I just hear them. But what I see and what I notice about them is what's more important to me. Right? Like, for instance, helping someone who they don't want, certain documents. They don't want they had a child and they're not going to get the birth certificate. I'm working with a few people right now in this situation. And one of the questions is, well, will it be recognized by, we creating a whole spiritual document, religious document. Will it be recognized by this? Will I be able to get something from the government with this document? See, when I hear questions like that, that tells me that person hasn't really left the world behind. That they are still looking for acceptance in man's system. When I'm creating these documents are far more superior than any document that the man government's creating. Even if you show people of these mindsets everything on paper, hey, this is what this says, this is that, this is all of these things. They're so indoctrinated by the system that I could tell who God is to them, and they don't even know it. And it was a time I used to get frustrated by this, and I don't get frustrated anymore. I'm very indifferent about it now. Like, this is just a product of the matrix. See, when people ask me, well, if I do this, will I still get my Social Security? If I do this, will I be able to get my retirement? Ah, see, you notice who God is now. Because a true God don't worry about nothing. A true God don't worry about shit. A true God knows whatever he put his hands on or touch, it will be successful. This is why you have to leave the world behind, because most of the world is in fear of losing something from the matrix, from man's system. And if you're hanging out with these people, you're spending time with them, you're going to develop those same fears. And sometimes I work with people, well, they worried about, I'm not worried about what they worried about losing if they're working with me. I'm not worried about that. And you're not going to get my mental down that road where I will be, oh, yeah, I can understand. No, I don't understand that. And I don't want to understand that. That's your life. You want to worry about man's rules and regs, and you want to worry about what they can give you. See, the master represents God, who gave talents out and said, here's your talent. Show me what you can do with that. See, the problem is it's in reverse. People, they take in and worry about the man. Oh, give me this. See, man's system is limited. And if man created the system, it's going to end one day. It's just a matter of time, right? It's a matter of time before man's system goes away and a new system may pop up. Who knows, right? So why are we so worried about what we can lose or gain from these people? Why are we so worried about Trump and what they can give us? It's frustrating when I thought you said you was God. I thought you believed you was God. I thought you was spiritual. Because true divine beings don't worry about none of that. And that's what Christ was trying to teach you. I'm not worrying about what these people say about me. I'm not worrying about what they call me. Because my true source of prosperity and happiness is not of this world. My true source of power and happiness is not even of this solar system. So far beyond that. See, what you have to do, all of these teachings about the solar system and all the history books, you got to throw all that trust stuff in the trash and start from scratch. That's another form of leaving the world behind. Because once you get it, go within yourself and you really, because guess what? The whole universe, the whole galaxy, whatever you're infinite. And all of that, what's is out there, is in here. Meaning, as above, so below. Oh, y'all thought, oh, heaven and then down there. No, it's as out there is within here. So everything out there is a projection of what's in here. Everything. Everything you're experiencing, everything you're exposing yourself, everything. So if there's anything out there you don't like or want to be a part of, and you're witnessing that, and you somewhat co-creating that. Oh no, what? See, these are the harsh truths that we don't want to face. So whatever you're experiencing that you're not liking, you somehow drew that into your experience, into the energetic field. You are just see, they said the sun is vortexing and we're following this sun. Well, to a degree, that's true. But it's even more true on your end. You're the sun. You're the center of your universe, and everything is following the gravitational field, a field of your energy of your thoughts, and it's following you. So you're really running from yourself. Okay. What you got to do is turn around and look at it. Okay, what is this? I don't want that. Move it over here. Okay, I don't want that. You got to start controlling. Stop running from it. You are the son of man. You are the daughter of God. You are. There's no there's no separation. What we call an evil is good, and what we call good is evil. It's all the same. It's just so like I'm a man, a woman. Let's just say man, woman, right? We all the same. That's why we come together and we bring life, right? We're the same. I'm on the masculine scale of the feminine. And the woman is on the feminine scale of the masculine. All the same. So if I sit here, this has all got to do with leaving that world behind, these thoughts that we're separate. If I sit here and I talk bad about the feminine over here, who am I hurting? Myself. And if the feminine is over here, the woman's over here talking bad about the man over here and doing all these things, who is she hurting? Herself. Because whatever I say about over here, it all comes back to me because we're all one. How did I get it? I came through a woman. How did we all get it? A man had to inject that divine fluid that created the spark, or helped create the spark of life. Only one of them gets through, right? So that egg had to choose. Okay, this is the one. That one. All is by divinity. So we come out here, we get born in the hospital, they separate us from our true connection and divinity. So we forget that we all the same. We all one, just different spectrums of the same thing, the same being. So if I sit out there and I look at, I'm saying this again, I'm reinforcing this. I want y'all to get this through your head. Yeah, I might want to start detoxing from some of these videos that have these war of the sex conversations, talking about the bad things about each other, Get rid of that. Detox. Those are all distractions. Because as long as I'm looking at that, I am accepting separation into my reality. And so every time I look at a feminine woman, my mind is always gonna be home to, well, yeah, this is a possible problem. And guess what happens? When you only focus on the fact that we all are one and you leave those worldly ideas behind, you don't see so much of the bad anymore. What you see is potential. The potential of a greater reality, a better reality than you've had in the past. You start to sort out, okay. And guess what? And if you're in that energetic field, that means people with that same energetic field will come and gravitate with you. Now your circle is surrounded by women or men that support where you want to be or what you want in your life. But if you are focused on men or women, this and this and that, that's what you're gonna get. All of that. You're gonna see it all. You're gonna when you go to this grocery store, you're gonna see it. And sometimes you might even make it up. Because something might look like what you are paying attention to, and you'll make it that. Life is what you make it. Life is what you make it. On the individual level, if you want to change the world, you must change yourself. That's the only way to change the world. Is to change the world within. The world of how you think and how you are interacting with your environment. And realize everything here is temporary anyway. I was listening to this guy, 607 Unc. He actually reinforced something I've been telling y'all. He just said it in a different way. He says we all dead. And I know you look at this guy, he looks out there. But see, me, I believe the most spiritual things come from the people that are out there. But I said it like this: when you go to sleep, you wake up. And when you wake up, you go to sleep. Everything's reversed. That's that old song, roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Y'all think that they just wrote these songs just to have, feel good? These songs have messages. Once you understand that, what you really dealing with right now, what you really watching right now, you might. Why is it that you have an inner voice that speaks to you that no one else can hear but you? Why is that? So what is this body? What is it? What is this world? What is it really? What is it? Maybe it's the very thing that they said you're not supposed to go to. You don't, if you do bad, you're going to go there. Maybe it's that. Right now, I'm being told, don't tell them yet. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all really not ready to know what this world really is. Why you're trapped here. Why you're trapped in yourself. And how do you get untrapped from yourself or this body? How do you get untrapped? What is the key to unlocking that? What is that key? And the key is so simple. But because you've been given mainstream religious ideologies and you're looking out there for the key, you forget the key is within you to unlock and untrap. First, you have to free your mind first. if I like, they got this thing called an invisible fence for dogs, right? You put this collar on them, then you put these wires in the ground, and every time the dog goes to a certain point, he gets shocked, and now he knows if he comes within so many inches of that fence, he's gonna feel that shock stronger and stronger, right? Now you get him doing that over time, he knows, okay, I gotta stop right here before I can feel this. And then I can shut the power down on that now. And he'll never go past that point. Before I go into that further, this is gonna be the last thing. It's gonna be I might want to get a pen. So I use the dog example. He gets shocked. And so now you never go past. He never goes past a certain point because he's gonna get shocked. And he knows it. What's funny is that's the same thing that's happened to us. Our freedom is out there. But we've been traumatized so much that we never go past a certain point. We never push past. We never push the limits of our existence because we've been shocked. We've been traumatized. We've been told what we can and can't do. We get beat over the head physically and mentally, but we never go past the point. Never push through it. Only a few of us. So just every now and then you get a dog to say, damn, I'm going to go through this pain and I'm going to get on the other side and see what it's like. Because the further and further away I get from this line, the less pain I feel. And guess what? That pain is very short. But that's the issue. Why so many people can't push through because they're so shocked and traumatized they can't get to the other side. They won't allow themselves to feel to see the potential of the pain they can go through to make it. They haven't left the world behind. So they go back to the old world and they go hang out with their friends and do all kind of stuff that don't present any level of success. You have an energetic field. They have an energetic field. Now, what type of energetic field they have and what type of energetic field you have, that's all on you. But just like I said, that sun was pulling and gravitating and pulling these people. You at the center. And what's in you that's bringing the abuser or bringing the poverty mindset? What in you is attracting these people to you? It ain't them. That's the problem. It's you. That's the problem. It's me. If I got people in my hemisphere that broke and they got broke mindsets and this is all they talk about what they can and can't do and they woe is me stories, then where's my woe is me story? I notice. I notice. The best way to change your association is for me to change. I noticed that when I changed, my association changed. Not because I told them to leave me alone. They just stopped messing with me. They stopped calling me. And sometimes I'll get, hey man, I ain't talked to this person in a long time. I call them, hey, what's up, man? Ain't nothing. Blah, blah, blah. We have something. And that'd be if I don't call, they don't call. So what does that tell me? That my energetic field don't match. They ain't thinking about me. So why am I pushing to pursue that? And I learned. Let it be. Just let it be. Just allow it that way. It's good for you. It's good for me. Because the less I have to deal with the energetic field of people's thoughts, the less I have to, oh, wait a minute. They said what? Less I have to judge what they're saying and make sure that it's not getting into me. See, while I'm over here alone or by myself I'm like, it's less I got to deal with. I realize how these stars get to the point where they just don't want to be around nobody. I get it. Not because they feel like they're better than them. It's just less to deal with. Less drama and stuff like that to deal with. It's good. It's okay to be by yourself. And be truthful, some of y'all need to be by yourself because y'all got a lot of drama, a lot of pain and trauma to work out. And it's very hard to work that out with so many people in your space. You become when you spend a large amount of time with yourself, you become very hypersensitive to things. Like, oh, wait a minute, you see things like, oh. You'll get like me, since they go to the grocery store to get something, you can't wait to get out of there because you feel all that energy. Like, oh, I got to get out of here. Time to go. Let me get what I need to get and get on back. Why? Because I create an environment in my home that's conducive to prosperity, peace, spirituality. And not everybody's doing the same thing. So realize what this world really is for you, what it is. Because all of the things that you're trying to accomplish and gain, especially if it's material things, you're not going to have it for very long. So what's important? To me, what's important to me is getting like wisdom. And this short amount of time that I have in this avatar, knowledge, wisdom. I took that when Solomon asked for wisdom, I took that as that was the lesson. Ask for wisdom because everything else, he became very wealthiest man on the planet because he just simply wanted wisdom. And y'all think, well, I'm gonna give you wisdom, and he made him rich. And I told you wisdom was a feminine aspect of the consciousness. That means he also had a woman that was wisdom there. There was a woman with some wisdom. So maybe that's how you see a woman as wisdom. That'll change things for you. But you got to pick one that has wisdom. You got to pick one. She'll show up. You just ask for like on the Bible. People say, well, how do I understand? I say, ask for the truth. And all of the extraterritorial meanings will come to you over time. One by one, all those scriptures will be unlocked in an esoterical, spiritual, metaphysical way. Same thing with asking for wisdom. You don't have to go searching for that woman with wisdom. She'll show up. She'll show up while you're putting your stuff together. She'll show up, and you'll know. You say, okay, that's it. That's her. Same thing with women. You don't have to go looking. He gonna show up as long as you're in the right energetic field to attract that which you desire. That's it. And with that being said, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. You have to go through something to accomplish something. Say it again. You have to go through something to accomplish something. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not willing to go through something to accomplish something. It's too hard. That's too much. I hear people say it all the time. Man, that stuff you do, I couldn't do that. Working that hard and making all those phone calls, get those loads. I can't do it. That's too much. Basically, what they're saying, it's easier for them to go work for somebody and be told what to do. That's what's easy. I think they just be talking when they say that. They don't really understand what they're saying. It's like Christ said when they had him up there, crucify him, and he said, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. And I'll say to that, forgive them, Father. They know not what they say. They don't know the consequences of their very very words. They don't know. It's that simple. Do you realize that you're receiving your reward of every word that you utter out of your mouth? There's a saying in the church, power of life and death is in the tongue. And that is very true. The power of life and death is in your tongue. The power of success and failure is in your tongue, in the words you utter. Not just the words you utter, the words you think, because the thinking of the words come before you actually speak it. You have to double down on it, meaning you have to contract with the word before you speak it, right? You think about it, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and you speak it. You think about it, then you decide to speak it. You create a contract with your consciousness. Oh, I accept what this is as the truth, and I'm going to speak it now so that I can solidify it and see that it comes forth.